Hello, thanks for being here with me today. This is Michael Joshua, and I want to start by clearing something up right away. This is not a webinar about becoming a writer. It's not about creativity, and it's not about chasing a dream you've secretly had all your whole life. This is a practical conversation, a conversation about how grandparents quietly become some of the most successful children's book authors without ever meaning to. And that's why that path is more realistic than most people realize. If you're retired or approaching retirement and you've ever thought, I like the idea of publishing a book, but it feels unrealistic, this is for you. Most people picture authorship as something reserved only for professionals, people with English degrees, people who've been writing their whole lives, journalists, people with imagination pouring out of them, or poets. That image stops a lot of good people before they ever begin. Children's books don't work that way. Children's books are not about elegant writing. They're about simplicity. They're about repetition. They're about meeting children exactly where they are. And grandparents, retirees like us, we understand that better than almost anyone else. Think about how you talk to your grandkids. You don't over-explain. You don't use complicated language. You repeat things calmly, sometimes many, many times. And you notice what makes their eyes light up and what makes them lose interest. That is the foundation of a good kids book. Not talent, but experience. Most grandparents have already taught children how to count, how to recognize letters, how to print, how to name colors, how to color in the lines, how to slow down and focus. So you've already done the hardest part. You understand the learner. That's why this path works so well for retirees. Children's books are structured. They follow patterns. They're designed to be clear, not clever. Because of that, publishing is far more achievable than people think. Now, let's talk about what published author actually means today. It doesn't mean convincing a publishing company to say yes. It doesn't mean sending manuscripts and query letters into a black hole waiting for years. It means creating a simple book and using modern publishing platforms that already exist. Platforms that handle the printing, platforms that handle the delivery, platforms that send royalty payments automatically to your bank account. Your job is not to become a marketer. Your job is simply to create something useful, and usefulness sells, especially in children's education. Now, here's where most people get stuck. You think you need to draw. You think you need long stories or advanced computer skills, and none of that's true. Children's books succeed because of structure, not artistic brilliance. Counting books, ABC books, simple recognition books, they're repetitive by design. Repetition is comforting to children. That's why so many grandparents succeed when they finally give themselves permission to try. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't chase originality. Follow a simple framework. Let me give you one practical example. Imagine a grandparent like you who creates a basic counting book inspired by time with your granddaughter. The book is simple. Clear images, clear numbers, very little text. Think Easter bonnets, pink ones, blue ones, white ones, yellow ones. It's not a passion project. It's a teaching tool. Have them match the color to the number. Create the book once, publish it. Now you're an author. Not because someone crowned you one, not because some publishing company gave you the go ahead, but because you created something real, something useful, something that can be purchased over and over again. And here's the part that matters. Once the book is published, it doesn't disappear. It sits there quietly available and ready. Every time it sells, you get a small royalty. No customer service, no daily effort, no pressure, no time crunch. This is why I call this a practical path, not a dream. It's not built on hope. It's built on systems that already exist and work. It's built on evergreen demand. It's built on experience you already have. You don't need to become a different person. You don't need to learn how to hustle. You don't need to work harder. You need a simple framework that respects your time and energy. And here's the important thing I want you to hear today. Becoming a published author doesn't require talent. It requires clarity, structure, the willingness to start small. Grandparents don't fail at this because they lack ability. They only fail because they think it's bigger and harder than it really is. When done the right way, it's calm, it's manageable, and it fits the season of life you're in. Thanks for spending this time with me. If the idea of becoming a published author finally feels practical instead of far-fetched, that's not an accident. It's because it's always been closer than you thought. Check out my children's book series starter kit. Sign up at chasethebutterfly.com and let me help you make this into your reality. Thanks. I'll see you next week.